Hold up. This isn't some cheesy kid show. This is Kids in the Tank, a young perspective on business from high school students.
Welcome to Kids in the Tank. I'm Andrew, and with me in the tank are Zach and Madeline. Today we are honored to have Dan Nowak in the studio with us. Dan is the owner of Tall Guy and a Grill Catering. Dan, you're officially in the hot seat.
Hi, Dan. I'm Zach, and my first question for you is, considering that your business is called Tall Guy and a Grill Catering, I'm assuming you're pretty tall. So how tall are you?
I never have gotten that question ever before.
Oh, I'm sure, right.
6'5".
Ooh,
I call my dad the OG tall guy because he's 6'4".
Okay. How tall are you, Andrew?
Like 6'3", 6'4", somewhere around there.
Oh, all right.
My dad's
So it's
6'5",
competition there, but
So I'm growing.
Trying to take the crown from me.
Yeah, I'll get there someday.
All right, so what sets your business apart from any other catering business?
So I think we've seen a lot of things with food in the last couple of years. Everything now is a lot of farm to table. People are using whole animals in butcheries. So one of the things we try to do from a catering side of things, we still try to do that farm to table, but on a bigger scale. So a lot of restaurants will run specials and they'll have a certain cut of pork, and we can use that same product, but we need that for maybe 500 people, whereas a restaurant needs that for maybe 100 people. So we sourcing local is something that's really important to us as well. Over half the products we use come from the state of Wisconsin.
Oh, wow.
We are a scratch kitchen. We make about 90% of our food from scratch, including salad dressings. The only thing we don't do right now is basically breads. We buy ketchup and things like that.
Oh, wow. Come on.
And really everything for us goes back to two things. I always say good food and good service. We're always conscious about responding to emails and phone calls in a timely manner. Again, now everybody has a phone in their hands. Everyone's always on social media. People want that quick response. They have a question, they want it answered right away. And then the food. So being consistent with the food. As we've grown bigger and we're serving, maybe 4 or 5 times the amount of people we were serving 3 years ago. If somebody orders, let's say, barbecue from us today, and they order the same thing next year, we definitely have to make sure that tastes the same.
yeah.
Have you ever put something weird on your menu? Like pig's feet or something?
Not really. We have done some different things. We try to say those are special events.
Like
a lot of
pigs
things.
feeding convention?
We can make that happen for you if you're. We can set up
Yeah,
a little
are you into
competition
pig's
and
feet?
I'm willing
What's
to
up?
try it.
Get some pig's feet and
chicken
get some
feet,
frauders.
just
You
feet.
can do the whole feet menu.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All animal
don't
feet.
leave the invite.
I don't hear a lot of
at your
takers
house.
out here for that. No.
Yeah.
Wow.
No.
Maybe just me.
Maybe
and you.
just a one-person catering thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fake fan.
No, we've done Persian food before. We did a couple of weddings maybe 2 years ago, so it was kind of cool. Persian food's a lot of stews and a lot of things with fresh herbs. But for the most part, it's still, we put twists on classic comfort food.
That's cool. Yeah. Okay, so I have a question. I'm Andrew, by the way.
The soon to be taller than the tall guy.
Yeah, hopefully one day. I don't know. I don't want to hit my head on any more things. So on your website, it states that you shop at local farms and markets. So how do you go doing that? Do you go to every stand and buy the food, or do people send you the food?
We have a couple different farms we work with. Some have delivery routes, so we work with Big City Greens and some urban farms where they make deliveries certain days of the week. Being in West Dallas, up in Milwaukee, there's a really big farmers market. They're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays throughout the year. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll have either my executive chef or my sous chef go up there. And I think they do have some of the contact information, so they'll call ahead of time. And again, unlike restaurants where they might want 10 pounds of tomatoes or asparagus, we'll come up there and say, hey, we want to get asparagus from you this week. Do you have 60 pounds?
Okay.
And if they know that ahead of time, then they can have that product ready for us.
It's a lot of asparagus.
It's a lot of asparagus.
Does getting ingredients that are locally grown and organic benefit the customer? And can you explain a little bit how that does? Because obviously it surely does.
Yeah. I think we get a lot of compliments, especially when it comes to vegetables. I think a lot of people associate catering with that old school bag of frozen vegetables, maybe that maybe your grandparents used to make or something like that.
No, my parents still make that stuff. So,
for the same price, you can get something fresh. There is a little more labor as far as preparing it and cooking it, but it just tastes better. If you look at any kind of buzzwords on menus and what people are looking for now, it is organic is coming around a little bit. I think right now people still associate organic with expensive, but definitely that all natural aspect. So people want things without preservatives, and they want things to,
fresh food.
taste good. Yeah, they want fresh food.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
All right. On your LinkedIn page, we see many of your past experiences. It shows that you were a senior participant accounting representative at BMO Harris Retirement Services. How did you go from that line of focus to catering?
Yeah, it's a mouthful. It's a big corporate, fancy corporate job title, right? So I went to college. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, and both my parents went through business school. Got accepted to a bunch of state schools like Marquette, Wisconsin. Went to University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee with the intention of just maybe staying there for a year or two and then moving on. Ended up going through business school. I tell people if you try hard and work, you can graduate in 5.5 years. So instead of the traditional 4. So my last 2.5 years, I dropped down to part-time, got my first job working in a restaurant. So I had a accounting internship, and then I started waiting tables. Started learning how to bartend, picked up a few things in the kitchen. Food was a big part of my family. I have an Italian side of the family and then a Polish side of the family, so a lot of grilled meats and beer on my dad's side, and then a lot of the traditional Italian, meatballs and pastas.
Zach likes to brag that he's Italian, too.
Yeah, 14%. Just got my 23andMe back.
All right.
Yeah. He's not even real Italian.
Yeah, so we, so I kind of started the catering thing as a part-time gig. I graduated college, got a full-time job at a trust company, so that fancy job title, I meant I work with 401k plans. So I was doing that, still working in restaurants on the side, kind of got a little bit tired of doing that, but still want to do something in food. I started the catering business part-time in 2009. Got to the point where we started booking weddings, and then in 2013, like any entrepreneur, we kind of pushed all of our chips all in and cashed in our savings to my wife and I, and opened up our first location in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin in July of 2013, and then last fall, bought a building in West Dallas, a suburb of Milwaukee, and opened up a new kitchen there. So the kitchen's about 5 times the size.
Wow. Yeah, awesome.
I actually have an office now, so I'm not hunched over like a freezer. You know, as tall guys, you get if you're bent over too much.
Yeah, my back hurts.
Yeah.
Did your first kind of gig start out with just friends' weddings and all that, or was it more just really advertising?
Yeah, I think any business you start with family and friends. Mm-hmm. So at the beginning, when I started the company, I just wanted to do Italian food and tailgating, right? Because that's kind of what my experiences were. As a kid, my dad taught me how to grill. My grandparents, my mom taught me all the Italian food, so that's what I knew how to do. So we were going to start with that. We did that for a year or two. Some friends kind of booked us for a few things, did some tasting events, did a lot of street festivals, dragging the tent out there, 95-degree days, sitting out there all day on the blacktop, trying to hustle meatballs and burgers and hot dogs. I had a couple of friends working for me, and one night a couple came up and said, "Hey, would you do weddings?" And I was in the back cooking, and unbeknownst to me, they said yes. And I said, "What are you guys doing? Like, that's crazy. I have no idea how to do a wedding." And now that grilling is, maybe about 15% of our business, whereas weddings, we're doing 75 to 80 weddings a year. Now that's about 2/3 of our revenue sources.
It's a good thing they said yes then.
It's a good thing they said yes, yeah.
Not so mad anymore.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so this is a long one from your biggest fan, Janet Driscoll. All right, so she's a client, and she says, "You created an affordable and diverse menu that was just perfect for our event. Attendees raved about the quality and variety of the tasty treats offered by the Tall Guy. If you're looking for a cost-effective way to cater your next event, look no further than Tall Guy and a Grill." So how do you personalize your catering so it's like fit for everyone but still cost-effective?
Sure. So I think we do have our price per person for all of our private parties, corporate events during the week. We do a lot of research to make sure that other competitors were kind of staying within that market price. Yeah. But at the same time, if we have regular customers or somebody who hasn't tried our food before, they said, "Hey, maybe we have a menu that's $15 a person," and they say, "Can we do 14?" We either give them a discount, or we'll kind of work on that menu on top with my kitchen and say, "Yep, do we have something else we can maybe substitute for?" For example, if somebody wants steak, we use a lot of grass-fed steak. That's a much higher price point than a pork or the chicken that we use. So I might say, "Hey, instead of steak, for this time, we can do even a cheaper cut of steak. Instead of a tenderloin, we can do a flank." So we try to work with clients like that.
What does your average menu range from?
It depends. So a lot of our stuff during the week, so private parties, corporate stuff, the lunches, and kind of drop-off orders. I mean, some of you guys just graduated or recently, so you have graduation parties. Maybe your parents don't want to cook, so they'll call us to us and say, "Hey, we have 50 people coming over. We've got $15 a person. What can you do?" We'll counter and say, "Hey, is this going to be a bunch of soon-to-be tall guys that are very hungry?" So we work with them on the food quantities. So I think that $12 to $16 person price point. Okay. The weddings are a little bit different. weddings, we do have a 6-7 page wedding menu. Unlike other wedding caterers, we have everything a la carte, so people can really pick and choose and customize that menu. So we're not very packagey.
Cool, yeah.
Prices from that can range anywhere from $45 a person all the way up to $75-$80 a person.
Wow.
And that really depends on buffet, appetizers, salads, desserts, china,
stuff,
all the
yeah.
staffing you need, bar setups, bartenders. So that's why there's such that huge fluctuation.
You guys do
But,
everything, huh?
Yep. And again, we try to stay within all of our couples' budgets too. If they say, hey, we have $70 a person, we're not going to put together a menu that's $100 a person.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So thank you for answering our questions. So now we're moving into our next segment. It's called Flip It. That's where you ask us the questions. Yeah.
I had all kinds of questions.
Okay, good.
So, do any of you guys cook at home? And if so, what's your favorite thing to cook?
Well, I made some brownies today.
Okay.
Turned out pretty good.
Were they in the box or homemade?
Homemade.
Oh, all right. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah,
All
that's a little
right.
difficult.
All right, guys, the bar's been set.
Yeah, well, okay, so during the school year, I made
Oh,
pasta
no.
at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was so excited to bring it to school the next day. And didn't turn out so great.
It was not good.
I thought it was good. Everybody else that tried it said it was too sour, but I think it was. I liked it. I liked it. It was sour. It was bitter. It was not very
Interesting.
good, but I liked it
I haven't
because
heard
it
of
was
sour pasta. You
mine.
could be
You
starting a
tried.
food trend. You
Yeah,
never
right.
know.
Maybe. Yeah.
Everyone comes to Zach's house to try
What
his
was
bitter
in it?
pasta.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know, to be honest. It was like cream cheese and tomato paste. I put everything in there. I didn't even follow the ingredients. Like, I just threw whatever I could find in
Yeah.
it.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So you cook more,
Yeah,
and then
right.
you can start to kind of develop
Yeah.
a palate, and you can start grabbing things from the pantry. My wife is always amazed. I can just kind of grab things. She's like, we
Yeah.
have nothing to eat. And I'm like, well, we have this, this, and this. And we can make something.
Yeah, before
so.
that for me it was all mac and cheese in the box. So
My
that
favorite.
was my first. That was my first
Okay.
experience.
A little hot sauce.
It's a start. It's a
Yeah.
start.
So good. So I don't really make much. I've been making breakfast sandwiches recently. Just cook an egg and some bacon, put on a bagel.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good. That's all I do, basically. That and
Hey, that's
I
fine.
burn bacon sometimes and put it in a box mac and cheese.
Oh.
I'm really impressed with myself on that one.
That's how it all starts.
Both at the same time.
Yeah. Who's the best cook in your family?
My mom.
My grandma, if I could say that, or my mom. Yeah.
Yeah, probably my mom.
Yeah, my grandma and my mom, definitely.
I
So,
think
so do
My-
they have?
But I feel like dads are always like the
Good
Good on the
Disaster.
grill.
Disaster.
Yeah.
nobody
Grill
touches
master
dad's
dad.
grill.
I was gonna
Yeah.
see things haven't changed. The same thing in my house too. My
Yeah.
mom did all the stuff inside. When it came to grilling, it was like stand back. Dad's got the grill
There's
going.
fire. Be
We're
careful.
good. Yeah, exactly.
This is my meat.
So we have. It sounds like we have moms and grandmas that are kind of the best with the best cooks and small sample size here. What's your favorite dish that they make?
Lasagna. I love lasagna. Pasta, anything that she makes with her sauce. So good.
You got to get that sauce recipe.
Yeah, you think so? I don't know. I haven't gotten it yet, so
Yeah,
good luck
obviously
getting
not.
it.
Because you go into
Tasted
college, you
your
got to have
pasta.
you got to
Yeah,
start
that's right.
impressing your friends. You guys have
That's
some
true.
parties and say, hey.
I got
Even
the
if you only have
pasta
one
sauce.
recipe, pasta sauce is a good one to master.
That's true. Hey.
It's nice and cheap.
I haven't thought about that. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes my mom makes like a turkey dinner, and she uses my grandma's like gravy recipe. Just oh my god, it's the
Yeah,
best
I
thing. I
definitely-
dump that gravy on everything for the next like 2 weeks after. I make her make a bunch of it. Gravy's real weird though, cause it turns into like Jello in the
Oh,
fridge,
yeah, it's so
and you feel
gross.
real weird heating it up.
Yeah.
Oh well,
I
it's
would-
still good.
I would have to say mashed potatoes and gravy and turkey as well.
Yeah.
Like Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving's
Oh,
the
yeah.
best. Yeah.
Thanksgiving's
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah. It's
Like,
just turning into
really
Thanksgiving
anything.
in here now.
Yeah.
My mouth's drooling.
love
It's
everything.
a little awkward tall guy.
Yeah. So what's the if you can think of all the restaurants you've eaten at, what's your favorite meal you've had at a restaurant before?
Oh man.
I can, if you guys want to think for a second, I can
Yeah.
start with well,
Yeah, you
it's
go-
hard
you
for
do
me to
yours,
pick.
yeah.
Recently, there's a chef called Sean Brock. He's a Southern chef who kind of won a bunch of James Beard Award, which is a big culinary award. So he has a couple of restaurants in the South.
Yeah.
And my wife Amanda was at a trade show in Savannah, and it was an amazing meal. We had like smoked chicken wings and this big seafood tower and a great
Wow.
steak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry thinking about it.
I go more chain restaurant. I just like the Texas Roadhouse buns that they serve right before you actually get the entree. But they're pretty good stuff. The butter and everything that comes with it.
Hey,
Oh,
for me
man.
back in the day, a fancy date when I was about 18 years old was taking a girl to Olive Garden.
Oh, hey,
Oh, yeah.
that's
I've never been to
that's
Olive
same.
Still a go-to.
That's same, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with Olive Garden.
Yeah,
No, for sure.
nothing wrong with
Yeah.
Olive Garden. So we went to New Orleans, me and Zach,
Oh, yeah, I
on this
forgot
church
about
trip,
that.
right? And so they had, I don't even remember what it was called, but it was like crayfish, some kind of like soupy pasta thing, and it was just so good. I don't even remember what it's called now, but
Yeah.
I just remember
I had
how it
that
tasted.
oyster po' boy down there. That was
Oh,
really
yeah.
good. Oh, man.
They serve good food.
I'd go
down
back
there.
just for that.
And the beignets, I forgot about the beignets. Those are so
Yeah.
good.
Did you guys go to
too.
Cafe Du Monde?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's
That's
one in
the
our
spot.
hotel. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just dump full of powdered sugar. It's just like a bag of powdered sugar with a couple of donuts at the bottom.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong
Right,
with that.
yeah,
So
for
good.
sure.
I don't know what I would say. Honestly, like, I love everything. Or anywhere I can get, like, a really big, fat burger. I love burgers.
Yeah. Well, we're in like the summertime now too, so everyone craves like that
Yeah,
nice
anything
grilled
on the
meat.
grill, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dad's at the grill.
Keep away.
Summertime.
Yeah.
Stay away, ladies.
Yeah. And then I think my last question for you guys: do you, have you guys ever been interested in any kind of careers or any part-time jobs? You guys are on the summertime right now. Have you ever thought about working in a restaurant or a bar or cooking, serving?
I actually work in a
Like that.
restaurant right now. I work at Gordy's in Fontana.
Oh, yeah, I know what
And
that is.
I'm, like, right now I'm a busser and, like, a host and stuff like that. But soon I'll be an expo, and the next year I'll serve. So that's what I'm doing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've never really put too much thought into being like working in a restaurant, just because I don't know, I have this perception of
You
it
hear
being
so many
super
horror stories.
yeah, busy and like just not
Yeah.
really wanting to go into that so much. But I feel like I'd get into it once I actually started doing it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think
I
there's a
don't
little
know.
bit of still kind of an old school mentality. Everybody sees Gordon Ramsay on TV, right?
Yeah,
And he's yelling
right.
and
That's like
swearing and
every
Yeah.
doing
chef
stuff.
ever,
Yeah.
You know, that's
it's just
That's
stressful.
kinda how it
That's
is,
how
yeah.
kind
I
of not
picture
true
it.
for the most part anymore. At least when we're in my business and a lot of the places I worked in, that really wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's
you
still a
seem
few
like a real
things out
Gordon
there.
Ramsay to me.
You know? yeah.
Yeah, I've thought about
But-
getting into like banquets and everything here at Lake Lawn in Delavan. Just like again, just
Yeah,
super
and then-
busy
and
and,
then they
late
didn't
hours
hire
and
you.
everything. Okay.
Yeah, it's hard work, but I think to your point, you kind of start out at busing and
Yeah.
things, and then you kind of work your way up. So I think the cool thing about restaurants
Yeah.
and catering in the food industry is you can kind of start at the bottom, and even if you decide to take a year or two off from college, or you're trying to figure out what you want to do, the harder you work and the better you do
Yeah,
at it,
you move
they'll
up.
move you up pretty quick. And
Yeah.
I only have 2 employees right now that make below $15 an hour.
Oh, really?
Wow.
And there's a lot of jobs right now that you're paying between $12, $15 an hour, all the way up to once you get to be an
Yeah.
executive chef or a manager at some of these nicer restaurants. I mean, it approaches like a 6-figure salary. So,
Wow.
Yeah, that's really good.
so trying to change the perception a
Yeah.
little bit in the industry.
Yeah,
You kind of see
definitely.
all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, for real.
People associated with like not having any money and things like that, but
Always be on
people
your
can make
feet
some good
working.
careers. I've knew some servers that were working in nice restaurants full time, and they're making $60,000-$70,000 a year.
Yeah, wow.
And you would never.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
Never
it's
guessed,
not-
really,
it's
right?
not-
Yeah.
Maybe I'll change the opinion a little bit in this room. Just
Yeah,
for
hey.
part time.
So-
Yeah.
My mind's set to be changed, so
Yeah.
All right. So, my cards are upside down. All right, Dan, thank you so much for joining us today on Kids in a Tank. We appreciate your insight.
yes, thank you
so
very
much for being
much.
here.
Yes, guys, it was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
So thank you and goodbye.